I'd like to introduce my friend, Sarder.
It's too much pressure, Chris. You're too nice. I'm super excited about this event today. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about this event for the last few days, even last night. And I was so excited that I couldn't even sleep last night. I hope you can see it. I am excited and I'm passionate. One of the reasons because of you. I realize that we have a young group of talented people over here from different colleges that are coming in over here. And I want to learn from you because you are the future of this country. I'm excited because we have a great group of speakers over here and I want to learn from them. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation outside with a guy named Bala. He's one of our audience over here. And during the conversation, I learned a lot from him. I saw that he's a deep thinker. He's a passionate lifelong learner. So my goal today is that I just don't want to promote our message. We want to learn from you during the networking event. And most importantly, I'm passionate because I'm going to deliver something that I really believe in. I'm going to talk about something I really care about. Now, throughout this event, throughout my presentation, what I want to talk about, number one, is that what is the number one challenge corporations are facing right now, especially within the United States? Once you understand that challenge, how can you take advantage of that challenge? How it creates an opportunity for you? Second thing I'm going to talk to you about, that how you can differentiate yourself from others in order to go all the way in the path. And most importantly, what I'm going to talk to you about, why and how you can develop an effective learning plan to be successful. I know you're in college, some of you are going to graduate, but the point I want to make is that our education begins after we finish our college. Now, I want to share a personal story with you. I attended a conference in Washington, D.C. a couple of months ago, Inc. 5000 conference. I was invited over there. As Chris mentioned, NetCom was listed as one of the fastest growing company in the United States. So I was there. There was over 2,000 business owners, CEOs, and decision makers was there. The reason I went there because I wanted to learn from them, I wanted to network with them, and I wanted to find out from them what is the number one challenge they're facing within their organization. The fact that they all are growing and they're creating thousands of jobs within the United States every single year. What is the biggest problem that they're facing? I have personally talked to 50, 60 people, and everybody told me one thing and one thing only, the biggest problem, not the only one thing, but the biggest problem they're facing, they're unable to locate the right candidate with the right skills. They're unable to locate the right candidate with the right skills. What a great opportunity for you. Every time I hear about job problem in the United States, is this really a job problem? Or is this a skill gap problem? Over 3.1 million jobs in the United States right now is unfilled because corporations cannot find the right candidate with right skills. There was a survey I was reading a couple of days ago. It was done by Robert Half International. It's a major recruiting firm, and they were mentioning that 51% of the CIOs, the biggest challenge they're facing, they cannot find IT workers. And I had conversation with a couple of the participants over here who is looking for a job. I can't figure out why can't you find a job where CIOs are saying that 50% of the CIOs are saying that we can't find people. Can't. If you go and Bing, SharePoint, .NET, all these different technologies, thousands of the jobs are coming out. Why there is so many jobs? Corporations are saying it's out there, but when we're talking to individuals, they're saying that, hey, I can't find a job. So I believe it's a skill gap problem, and I believe it's creating a major opportunity for all of you, especially the ones that's looking for a job. So I want to ask a question, how many of you are looking for a job right now? Raise your hand. And how many, and I know that a lot of you are probably not looking for a job right now. You're going to graduate in a year or 2 years. You're going to look for a job. So it's a major opportunity for you to take advantage of what's happening, the pain that corporations are going through, understand our pain, and run your business like a corporation. So how you're going to differentiate yourself? In order to differentiate, one of the best way to do it, analyze the successful people. Read about them. See what they're doing differently. Once you analyze them, you don't want to copy them, you don't want to become like them, but you want to copy their right practices, the fundamental beliefs they have, the type of things they do that make them successful. You want to copy those behaviors, but you don't want to become like them. You want to be unique. We all are unique. We want to exercise our own passion and our own skills, but there's some certain fundamentals we all need to follow. So I have been, over the years, I read hundreds of books about successful people. I love reading books about successful people. When I read about them, I want to find out who had significant impact on their life. What are the failures that they went through? What type of books they read? What made them successful? And by doing this analysis over the years, I came up with a belief that all successful people have 7 things in common. 7 things in common. Do you guys want to find it out? Say yes, otherwise I'm going to end it now. Do you want to find it out? Yes. All right, then I'm going to share it with you. And I'm going to charge you when you get out. Believe me, if you apply the principles of the successful people, you're going to become super successful. I don't have a lot of time today. I know that I was supposed to give a 1-hour presentation, and now they cut it down by 23 minutes. It's very difficult to give a short presentation than a long presentation. Most successful people have these 7 things in common. They are all passionate about what they do. Choose the job you like, you never have to work again. They're all hard workers. There is no easy way around. We must work hard. If you get paid for 40 hours a job, do 70 hours worth of work when you're new to the organization. They're all focused. Don't try to do too many things. Define what you really want to do and go after that and spend dedicated time learning about that. They're all having winning game plan. They have goals. Without plan, you can't become successful. A lot of times I hear people, what do you really want to do? And their answer is so cluttered. You know that they didn't really think it through. So think about what you really, really want to do and create a plan for that. They're all highly confident. If you believe that you can get a job, if you can believe that you're going to become successful, if you believe that you can become the best in your field, you're going to become that. So they're all confident. They're highly competitive. But most importantly, all of them have one thing in common. They're all passionate lifelong learner. Bill Gates was a passionate lifelong learner. Jack Welch was a passionate lifelong learner. President Clinton was a passionate lifelong learner. I know all of you are learning in college, but you also need to invest on self-education. And self-education is going to be derived based on what you're passionate about. I want to share a story, and some of you probably heard this story. I was talking to my dad a few years ago over the phone, and he told me that, Russell, do you know when you're 5 years old, you knew the names and the capital city of 192 countries in the world? I was shocked when I found it out from you, because I don't remember them at all right now, and I don't even remember remembering them. So forget about remembering those names. So what I mean, that story reminded me, human brain is a bucket with holes in it. We are consistently losing information. We are consistently, so we gotta become a passionate lifelong learner. If we become a lifelong learner, we know why we need to become a lifelong learner. I want to share another story. I saw Jack, one of our sales managers, walk in over here earlier. I was talking to him. Jack, college degree is finance in business, and now he's working as a sales manager. He's working in the sales field. 80% of the college graduates, 80% of the people they ended up working on a field that had nothing to do with their college degree. So once you understand that, you know the only way you can develop your skills, job-related skills, by being a passionate, lifelong learner. Bill Clinton once said, what you earn depends on what you learn. What you earn depends on what you learn. I want to share a story about a friend of mine with you, Richard. I actually met him even last week. We played poker together. I'm not encouraging you to play poker. And I told him that I'm going to share his story. He said, please don't show my picture. He's still doesn't like to promote himself. And as you can see, I'm shamefully promoting myself in the event. My marketing team is doing that. So I was talking to Richard, and I want to tell you Richard's story. I met him almost 9 years ago through a friend of mine. And when I met him, I knew that Richard was living in Forest Hills in Queens, and he was sharing an apartment with his friends. And if you ever went to his apartment, it's all messy. He had really limited amount of budget. He couldn't even pay his rent. Then a couple of years later, what happened? I found out that Richard ended up buying a 2-bedroom apartment in Forest Hills, the same area that he was living in. And now, last week, I think week before last week, when we were playing poker, what I found out that he just built a multi-million-dollar house in a waterfront in Long Island in Long Island. Over the 9 years, he went from sharing a room to having 2-bedroom apartment. He bought that apartment, now he has a multi-million-dollar house. How did he do that? Because I know him for all these years, and I want to share this story with you. When I first met Richard's background was finance. I know a lot of you MBA grads are over here. His major was finance. And he realized that that's not his true passion is. He realized it after he left college. So he decided he wanted to learn about technology. He wanted to become a networking person, but he didn't have any networking background. So he went through basic networking courses. Then he went for MCSE program back then, Microsoft Certified System Engineering. Then after he finished the certification, he got a job in the downtown and financial district. Once he got the job, he realized that, hey, the skills that I have about the personal operating system and server system is not enough for me to grow within that organization. He wants to grow. He wants to buy a house, buy an apartment in Forest Hills, New York. That was his dream. He wants to buy. He got married. Now he has 2 kids. He has a lot more expenses. So he decided he's going to develop his skills in networking area. So he started to learn about Cisco networking. He started to learn about the Exchange server. He started to develop all these related skills. He started to learn about SharePoint. He got promoted. He's making more money. He bought an apartment. Now eventually he realized that if I want to move up even more, I need to understand security. So he went and became a security expert. He took checkpoint type of classes. He took Microsoft security classes. So he ended up becoming a security expert. So I was talking to him the other day when I was asking, so what's next? What's your goal now? Now that you're a security expert, networking expert, how can you make more money? So he was telling me that, Russell, I know that I'm moving into the leadership position and I can't lead a group of people unless I develop my leadership skill and my management skill, my project management skill. So he's going to become PMP certified. And he's also trying to see what's hot out there, which technologies are hot. Because what he knows before is not going to work in future. So he was saying that what's hot there is virtualization. What's hot there is cloud computing. What's hot out there is business intelligence. Some of those topics we're going to cover during these events with you. I'm not going to go in detail because we have subject matter experts over here. I'm not going to try to compete with them. I'm not even going to pretend to compete with them. As a matter of fact, I'm happy that I'm speaking before Savio and Ellison Cord, before everybody, so that I don't look like a fool here. Richard got richer. Richard got richer over a time period, and if you really analyze what Richard really did. Richard had a goal, learning goal. I want to become a network administrator. Then he went back and he looked into, let me develop a competency model. What skills, what knowledge, what I need in order to get that job. Then eventually what he did is that, hey, how can I combine different types of learning methods? He ended up taking some classes in NetCom learning. Of course, I had to give him 50% discount. I wasn't happy about that. I'm asking for the money back now that he makes all this money. So he was taking classes in NetCom. He was taking online classes. He had mentors. He had coaches. He was reading a lot of different books. So he combined different type of learning method. And now he consistently evaluating his plan. So I am a networking administrator. I'm no longer happy with it. I want to become a network engineer. I'm a network engineer. I'm no longer happy with it. I want to become a security analyst. Now I want to, his eyes, he want to become the CIO of the organization. It's going to take him time. It's going to take him years. But if he's dreaming about it, it will happen. If he has the confidence, it will happen. If he's passionate about what he wants to do, if he works hard, he can become a CIO of the organization. I hope I can give this presentation 10, 20 years from today, and I say that Richard has become the CIO of the financial firm. I want to share a quote written by one of the guys I admire, Zig Ziglar. He's a great motivational guy. I read a lot of books about him. I listened to a lot of his videos. Zig Ziglar once said that you need a plan to build a house, to build your life. It's even more important to have a plan. So I want to ask you, how many of you have a written learning plan? Can you raise your hand? Create a learning plan. It will change your life, trust me. There's a very small group of people who really have a dynamic learning plan. Just because you're in college doesn't mean you cannot have a learning plan in place. What are you learning? What do you really want to learn? And again, it's going to be tied back, what's your goals are. So I want to end my presentation this way. If you want to grow, if you want to become successful, if you want to become wealthy, if you want to develop clear thinking, if you want to differentiate yourself, if you want to transform yourself, if you want to separate yourself from others, you've got to become a lifelong learner. I know that all of you are lifelong learners. If you're not lifelong learners, you wouldn't be here on Saturday. Are you lifelong learners? Please say yes if you are. Yes. If you are a lifelong learner, I have just one last request to you. I want you to stand up for a second. I promise it's going to be for 30 seconds. And I need all of you to read with me. We are lifelong learners.
We are lifelong learners.
Two more times. We are lifelong learners.
We are lifelong learners.
Thus, we are lifelong learners.
We are lifelong learners.
Please sit down, please. I feel honored that you gave me this honor. I really feel honored. Thank you very much for doing this. The moment we think we know it all, we stop growing. Develop the passion for learning, be a lifelong learner. Thank you. Develop the passion for learning, be a lifelong learner.